Hey, welcome back to Building Dad Bod 2.0. Just got home from my daughter's baseball practice and straight into dynamic leg day. Starting off with single leg sled bounds. I got this exercise from Nomo, the UFO. Got this kind of cheaper turf down now, but works way better than trying to push this thing on the rubber mats. Sled actually slides now. Only got 45 pounds on here. Only the second time I've tried these on the rubber mats, it didn't work at all. But now the sled's sliding nicely and just trying to keep driving as hard as I can with the working leg and just alternating legs each length of the track. Trying to get the movement down, and then as I get the movement down, I'll just add more weight. Really liking the feel of these. I think they'll be good for running and jumping. You just got your single leg and you're just driving it into the ground as hard as you can, trying to push off. So should have good carryover. After that, went to some sled sprints, just trying to run as fast as I can while pushing the 45 pounds on the sled. Did 5 lengths of the track on these. Super excited about having this turf down. The sled slides so much better on here. It would just slid horrifically on the rubber. I don't have any plastic feet on this sled. I think I've found some. I think it'll slide even better with the plastic feet, but slide's good enough now to at least be able to do all this stuff, move nicely. I should be able to load up some really good weight at some point. After that, doing jumps. So jumps to the 37.5-inch wall again. I'm just doing multiple different ways. So here I'm doing approaching jumps, just taking a step and then jumping from one step, then doing some jumps from a standstill. Ooh, you see, just barely landed that one. But you can see there, the jumps from a standstill definitely don't get quite the same height as the approach. Then what I started doing was a little hop and trying to drive my feet as hard into the ground as I could. So you can see there, getting more height there. So kind of like Spencer told me one time, doing single leg jumps, try to drive your foot coming down into the ground hard and explode up. And that's what I was trying to do there as well, the hop, drive my feet into the ground and explode up onto the wall. And you can see I was landed more straight leg than I was previously. Then doing some knee to feet jumps onto the wall. I was happy with these in terms of, like, I was getting them up to the 37.5-inch wall. Wasn't totally happy with the hip extension at the jump off my knees, but I haven't done these for quite a while. So that's the starting point. We'll just keep working on getting more explosive from there. And then doing some hill sprints. Did a bunch of flat ground sprints as well at my daughter's baseball practice, but then here, using the hill, trying to just apply some of the tips that Spencer gave me for acceleration. I got lots of work to do, but they were a lot better than the last time I did them, so happy with that. Then box squats. Added a third band, and I guess I wasn't prepared for the band tension because that thing just threw me around right there. Went to stand up and just looked like I got whiplash. So reset, and now I was prepared for it. Some serious tension there. I did 10 sets of 3 on these, and same as ever, every set they just feel a little bit better, and get a little snappier. My legs overall right now, being in a massive deficit and training legs 3 times a week, they feel horrific. Like, I feel like I'm doing these in quicksand. They just, as I'm doing them, I'm in my brain, I'm like, man, these are so slow. But then as I watch them back, they're actually not terrible. Like, obviously, I always want to be doing them faster, but here, like this set, you can see their first few reps are moving quite nicely, actually. Especially considering I added more band tension from where I was last week. And I'm going to show all 10 sets here, so I want to be able to compare these week over week, compare the speed, and see how it's going as I add band tension. So if you don't want to watch all 10 sets, jump to 541 of the video. That's where the next exercise is. And again, I got the same weight on here this week. 155 pounds in straight weight, 75 pounds in chain at the top, and then I added a third band this week. If you never trained with bands and chains before, they're the same basic idea in terms of manipulating the load, accommodating resistance. So at the bottom, they're easier, and at the top, they're harder. And depending on how much bands and chains, obviously, it depends on how much harder. But the biggest difference between bands and chains, the weight of chains are still dictated by the laws of gravity. Bands act completely different. Once you get to the top, gravity doesn't really apply. It's just stored energy. The more you stretch that band, the more it wants to just slam you right back down into the floor. So as the band tension gets greater on something like a box squat, you got to control that eccentric on the way down. One really nice thing about the bands when you're working with chains is they kind of help to stabilize the bar. All right, so this was the 10th set, last set. Really happy. Like I said, my legs felt like they were running on fumes, and I felt like the bar moved pretty good for how the legs were feeling. Now, back to doing these banded back extensions. We'll have another view of this in a minute, but this is a good example. I got the bands doubled up on that one. And when I pull up, get to the top, and the bands just want to slam me back down into the floor. Insanely hard exercise on the glutes and the hamstrings. I'm just trying to produce as much force as I possibly can up into the bands to make it to the top. Never felt my glutes hurt that bad before. Went to bed after this workout. My glutes and my hamstrings were just killing me. You can see there, I'm not even getting like full extension at the top, but just going as hard as I can. I only added to 5 pounds this week over last week. And then did 4 sets of those, 4 sets of single leg press, up from 235 pounds to 245 pounds this week. These felt more explosive than they did last week, so really happy with that. That was it for this workout. Another dynamic day down. These workouts are a ton of fun. Probably my favorite workouts right now. We'll catch you tomorrow when I go for a max hit single. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.